Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I am filming this pretty darn early in the morning because I had a tenant move out, and that means lots and lots of appointments, of scheduling viewings, and people would be able to fill out applications to rent the apartment, and it's a lot of work. So I have to do this pretty early, and then as I'm waiting for people to show up today, because it is a Wednesday and I post on Wednesday, so it's Wednesday morning right now. Normally I record this on like a Monday or Tuesday, but I had Vincent Sunday night through Tuesday, and with having to get him up and ready and get my house cleaned and everything and then go to the apartment, I did not have time to record this beforehand. So I'm going to record it now, and then I will be editing it in between appointments today to view the apartment and posting it. So it should be interesting. I did, however, stitch, even though I had appointments. I was just stitching in between them, and used my Kay's Creation stand in the apartment and stitched while I was waiting for people to do their appointments. So I was still able to stitch the last couple days, and I'll continue to do that. I'm just working on a different project because I just left all the stuff at the apartment while I'm showing all that, instead of carrying everything back and forth. There's really no need to carry it all back and forth. And today I am stitching on the Clouds Factory Epic Disney SAL. Again, I will put in a picture of what it's supposed to look like when it's finished. However, my version is different, as it is much larger than theirs, as I added more than just Disney princesses. I added all of my children and I's favorite movies to it. And I believe I'm almost done stitching the ones that are on here. I'm trying to remember how many are left that were actually charted by the Clouds Factory that are on here. And I think I have, oh, I can't remember now, maybe like 5 more that they have charted left to do, and then that is done. And then I can start working on the ones I've charted to go on here. And I think I have 4 more that I need to chart left. And I didn't think I would get all of those done, but once I figured out the software and found sort of like my groove on charting them, it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. And it's just kind of going back to the favorite movies, picking out the main characters that make sense, and go through, because I have Tangled, I have Encanto, I have Ray and the Last Dragon yet to do. I think Alice in Wonderland is on here as well that needs to be done yet. But there are still a few that needs to be finished that are already charted. But the Cloud Factory had came out with Encanto, and Raya and the Last Dragon. So I didn't have to end up charting those because they did the charts. So I went ahead and purchased those, and we'll put them in here when I get to them. But for the most part, I've got most of these, quite a few of them in here now. And then it'll be working on the ones I've charted for myself. So yeah, we had a tenant move out, and that means we have to re-rent the apartment. And unfortunately, they, I guess, must have forgotten their keys at some point in time, and they pried open one of the windows and broke the window. Thankfully, it wasn't the glass, so they didn't get injured or anything, but they broke the vinyl of the window, and nowhere around here can just fix the vinyl. You have to replace the entire window. And I guess thankfully it wasn't the giant bay window that they broke into, but it was the second largest window in the house. And we're talking, I think it was 38 and a half by 60 inches tall. And of course that isn't a standard size window. And we had thought about going and just ordering a smaller window to put in there. But after my husband and I had talked about it for a while, actually I kind of put up a stink about it. And the reason why I put up a stink about it is because when we remodeled that duplex, we spent a lot of money, but two, we also spent a lot of money on the outside of the house, making it so everything was very symmetrical and even, and it cost us extra money to do that. And my husband, he kind of just wanted a quick fix and wanted to just, get another window in there and get it done and over with, versus where I put up a stink because it was like, we spent a lot of money making that outside of the house so that way everything was symmetrical, and it looked like a nice house because the house is 111 years old. So of course it wasn't all symmetrical and nice. There was a lot of patchwork done to it over the years, and we spent a lot of time, a lot of the windows getting replaced and making sure everything matched. And by sticking a smaller window into that window, it would have altered the fact that, now it's on the front of the house. So it would have made that one window stand out. And because it's a large window, so it's really going to stand out if it was all not the same. And my dad is a contractor, so I was able to get a hold of him and be like, can you find somewhere, like call around, find anywhere that we can possibly have this window made, and tell me how much it's going to cost, because it's not the average size window. And thankfully he was able to find somebody, find a company that was able to make the window, and it wasn't going to be, $1,000 for the window. Now it was $400 and some for the window itself to be made, and it's going to take 3 to 4 weeks for the window to be made. And we made sure that we were still able to rent that apartment out now, even though that window is technically broken. But we are able to rent it out because we were able to get the window back into its slot and locked, but you can't open that window at all, or you just can't open that window because it doesn't, if you open it and if you unlock it and try and open the window, it unseats it and it can fall out, and it takes a while to get it to put back in. So but we are able to still rent it out. So until that, until the replacement comes in. So we have just been informing everybody of that issue and showing them the invoice that the window is in fact ordered. It's just because it's a custom build, it's going to take a while for it to be built, and then the moment that we get the window, it'll be put in within 24 hours of us getting the window. It just depends on, like, if we get the window in the morning, it'll probably be put in the same day that we get the window. It's just getting the window. It's going to take a little while. But with having somebody come down and put the window in, it is probably going to cost us about, I think my dad said it's going to, like, with the price of the window plus the install of the window, it's going to cost us about $600 total to put the window in, which is pretty expensive considering that, you're just like, why not just go with the smaller window that would have been like $200, and it may have been $400 total to replace the window. And it's in all honesty, it's purely aesthetic reasons that I'm doing it, and it's kind of annoying my husband, but it's just kind of like, you've trusted me to pick out the colors of all the houses we've remodeled. You've trusted me to do all this. Trust me that I know that if we don't, if we put in the smaller window, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb. And if and when we decide to sell the house, we're going to get less people that are interested in it because that one thing looks off. And not just that, like I said, we spent an exorbitant amount. I mean, we spent a lot of extra money to make that house symmetrical, to make it look nice. It took a lot of time making sure everything was square and fixing problems, and like we even had to go upstairs. And so on the roof of the house, there's trusses that hold up the roof. And when this house was built, back in those days, it didn't matter if things were square. It didn't matter if things were essentially 100%. As long as it was a roof over your head, you didn't complain. The house was built in 1912. And we had to, I guess they ran out of the wood, didn't meet for the peak of the house. So the last 1.5 feet of the trusses were scabbed in pieces that were just held by nails together. And so we had to go in and jack up each truss and re-brace them. We did, my dad said 1 2x4 would be enough, but we went ahead and did 2 2x4s on both sides of a single part of the truss to make sure that it was, it was never going to move again. And so we had to have somebody come in, jack up each truss, and then once the truss was jacked up, put in 2 2x4s that were cut through the whole length of the truss to, fix that 1.5 feet problem that was created. And make sure that the roof wasn't going to collapse, because it was how do I explain this? So where that 1.5 foot piece of that truss was connected to the other ones, there were little wee tiny boards that were nailed to each side. Well, those nails and everything, all of that patch was failing, so the roof was kind of sitting like at an angle, kind of like this, This is where the break would be between the truss and then the other 1.5 feet. So they were kind of sitting like this. So we had to take and jack that all up to make it flush again, and make sure that they were level and everything, and then brace it with, like I said, a 2x4 on each side to make sure that, you know, it can, we get a lot of lake effect snow and things like that. So we have to make sure that it can handle the weight of snow and everything else. And that's, the weight of snow is most likely what caused that, obviously, to shift after 100 and how many years ago did we fix that house? I don't know. We did it probably about 10 years ago. So the house was like 100 years old. So it took 100 years for that to finally start to break down. But we fixed it, got it done, and everything. But we spent a lot of time fixing that home. So I just kind of argued with him, and he eventually, it wasn't even really arguing. We were debating back and forth, like, what was the best option. Because of the prices of everything right now, like, is it smart to just, but I explained to my husband, like, the value, as much work as we have put in the house, the value of that house has increased a lot since we first bought it. So, and I told him, I was like, by not having the aesthetics on the outside match anymore, like, we're probably going to lose money just because of that, and it's not worth it. So, as much as he didn't want to spend that amount, I think in the end, once that window is replaced and it's put back in, and he sees that it's going to look exactly the way it was before, he'll understand that, like, it was the right idea, especially when we go to sell the house at some point in time. When we sell the house, I have no idea, because in all honesty, I am tired of being a landlord. I don't want to do it anymore. Why are you twisting around? You should not be twisting. What in the world? Sorry, guys. Camera deciding it's going to do whatever it wants to do. But I think we made the right choice on go ahead and just having the window custom built to fit what was missing. Anyways, but it's been, I mean, we've met a lot of new people, and we don't charge an astronomical amount of rent. I think that's insane with the way rent prices have went up. The rent on our apartment has stayed the absolute, like, it's the same as it was oh god, I want to say probably like the last 10 years. The price to rent that side has not changed, because we really don't make any money off of that side, and it's mostly once the mortgage is paid off we will, but until it's not mortgaged anymore, it's not really profitable at this point, and that's fine with me. Of course, I could increase the price if I wanted to, but I don't want to. We've actually had people from almost 4 hours away from where we live come and look at our apartment. A couple of them have come from 3 hours away, like, and it's just a simple fact that, one, we allow people to have pets, but they have to have either like previous landlords stating that they've, they take care of their pets, or I like seeing veterinary records that these people, you know, take care of their pets and things like that. And it's just a simple fact that we've had people run over there before we did all this with pets and they weren't taken care of and they destroyed a lot in the apartment. So, and I don't want to label everybody that way and not let anybody rent with pets, because I have pets and I love them a ridiculous amount. Like they're my children, just like my human children are. So I don't want to take somebody's pets away, but I want to make sure that the person that rents it, their pet isn't going to go through and destroy it like we've had in the past, but B, that they're taken care of. So we do tend to get people from all over because we do allow pets, and a lot of people around here that are landlords don't allow pets. But I don't have an issue with it as long as the animals are being taken care of the way that they're supposed to. And it helps that we also don't charge a ridiculous amount, and it is a very large 2-bedroom apartment. So we tend to get a lot of interest. I am currently booked until Fridays, the first day I have appointments for somebody to be able to view the apartment. And these appointments are done every 15 minutes. And they start at 11 a.m. and go the whole way until 7:30 at night. Besides, I have a gap between 4 and 6 o'clock, which gives me time to cook dinner and sit down and be able to eat with my family and then go back to what we need to do. So other than that, which there is a stitch here. It's a 1/4 stitch. Of course, this is the Ada, and it makes it to be a pain in the butt to do the 1/4 stitch. But, like I was saying, other than that, there are a lot of appointments. And of course, you get people that make the appointment and then don't show up. But that doesn't happen too often because this apartment here, it's not up for rent very often. And it's not often that you see an apartment available for rent around here that people aren't asking for a ridiculous amount of rent. I just don't see... Well, part of the problem is that, like, the things that have been included in rent, all of that stuff has increased in price astronomically. Our electric bills around here have doubled in price in the last, how many months now? Like, I think it started in January, so almost 6 months. It's doubled. Oh no, I still need this. What am I doing? I'm flapping out the gums and not paying attention to what I'm doing is what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Because I'm good at that. So we are doing this. Oh, I don't think I've ever told you guys that, like, when I finish this half of this, and then I'll do all the back stitching, everything on this half before I move this hoop. So that way, whenever I finish the back stitching on this portion, then it's completely done. There's nothing left that I need to do on it. So everything's completed in steps and stages, but it is completed. Gotta mark up more stitches here, or I'll forget what I've done and then make a mistake, and then I'll be irritated with myself that I didn't do it. Of course, this pattern is on Pattern Keeper, which was a pain in the butt to get it into Pattern Keeper. Okay. It starts here. And in this pattern, there's 1/4 stitches and 3/4 stitches. but the end result is really nice. They've really captured the characters in these, and I enjoy it. I don't know when they started doing this SAL, but I know it's over now. I don't remember what year this would have been started, but I don't care. I'll still stitch it just if I like it. My kids and I love watching Disney movies. We watch a lot of them. And I loved watching Disney movies when I was growing up too, so it was pretty neat whenever I had kids and a new Disney movie came out, because then I could use the excuse of like, oh, I'm going to take my kid to the movies and watch this movie. Not necessarily because they wanted to, but because I wanted to. Nope, that don't go there. Brittany goes here. See? Almost made a mistake. Almost, but not quite. Doesn't count, right? Doesn't count unless you do it. I didn't do it, so it doesn't count. So, yep, I had Vincent the last 2 days. Well, I got him Sunday and had him Monday and Tuesday. He went home last night. He went home about 7:30 last night. And we were having a blast over at the apartment, him and I, because I was showing him there's different closets and stuff in there. And while we were showing the apartment and stuff, all the doors and everything are open and everything, and you can see through. And I was showing him how you can in the 2 bedrooms, you can go inside the closet and you can hide in this one spot, and even though the door's open, people still can't see you. And so he was running around from one end of the house to the other, just thinking it was great that he had all that space. And he was just having a blast. I was kind of having a blast too, because I was playing with him. But man, and then he did not take a nap yesterday on Tuesday or Monday at all, because we were just going. I didn't even have a chance to really get to put him down. I mean, I literally had enough time to, in the morning, like, get him breakfast, get him dressed, get him fully awake and stuff. And why I am going to have to look into this and see why it is doing that all of a sudden. Give me a second. There we go. That's all. That piece just needed tightened. So now you guys will quit shifting around after I make you guys all sick. Literally in the morning, I was getting up. I usually wake up in between 7 and 7:30. But with doing the apartment and having Vincent, I've been waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning. So that way I have time to get my house clean and everything before I leave. And then Vincent would wake up around about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And I'd get him awake. Obviously get all the kids, my children, off to school and things like that. Get him awake. And he is not a kid that can get up and, like, you can't rush him. He gets cranky in the morning if you do that. He likes to sit down and snuggle and watch a little bit of cartoons. And he likes to be awake for about an hour before he eats breakfast. So this is all stuff I have to plan for. And then I would get him fed, get him dressed for the day, get everything loaded up, take him over to the apartment. And, well, before he would even wake up, like, I would pick out, like, okay, these are the things he can eat for lunch today, and make sure those are, like, him and I can eat for lunch today, get those packed to be ready to put it. But, I just needed to carry it from point A to point B to put in a refrigerator on the apartment side. And then I barely had time to, take a couple bites myself, but I would make sure, set him up I have a little pop-up tray and things like that I took with me to set up so that way I could set, his plate on it and he could have something to eat and get all that stuff done. And I mean, it was a rat race to make sure because I would have to leave here about 10:30ish to make sure that I had everything ready to go and pack him up and get over there in time for the first appointment at 11 o'clock. And then run home at 4. The last appointment was at 4. They're usually there for about 10 minutes to look at everything, view the apartment, and talk to me for a little bit, and I can answer any other questions and so on and so forth, and get all that stuff done. And by the time I would, I didn't clean up until the end of the day from stuff I was doing or anything like that. Just lock the apartment, leave, get home. I'd get home about 4:30, start cooking dinner, usually get dinner on the table right around 5 o'clock, if not, a few minutes after 5, and then shove food down my throat and run back out the door. And I would get home about 7:30. Well, no, it's about 8 o'clock because the last appointment's at 7:30. But I would get home about 8 o'clock, and then I would go upstairs, shower, if I wanted a snack or whatever, eat a snack, and then just take off. I would go to bed afterwards. It doesn't seem like, it's not like I'm not physically tired, but mentally, after speaking to that many people all day long, and keep in mind the entire time I'm also answering my phone for people who are calling to set up appointments, to view the apartment, as well as communicating with my husband, because both of our numbers and everything are listed there for people to call about the apartment and things, and also answering messages and stuff, emails, all kinds of things from people wanting to set up appointments and things like that to view the apartment. Just it's a day of, there's literally no time at all for me to sit down and just collect my thoughts. So I'll be glad whenever it's rented and I'm done with it, because it really is exhausting and just overdoing it. Poop. Of course, Cam's sitting here. Theo's over there he smushed down the throw pillows on the couch, and he makes like a little bed out of it. And he jumps up there. That's what he does. But Mulan, I'm almost done with doing Mulan now. I've got, how many more characters left? I think just this one. Oop. Sorry. Yep, this one and one other character, and it's done. Besides backstitching. Then I gotta do the backstitching, and then after that it's finished. So almost done. Ugh. But yeah, get home, shower, and then by then it's sit down, talk to my kids for a few minutes, and it's time for them to go to bed. And sometimes I would get a snack, and then by 9:30 I was going to bed. I was like, nope, I'm over it. I can't stay awake anymore. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. But that's just how it went. Sorry. Keep yawning today. It's just wore out. It's a lot of physical work with keeping up with everything. So that's what's been going on in my world. Not really much, but it is what it is. What else did I do? Oh, we took Grandma Joanne this past weekend. We took her up to, I think it's called a flower nursery. I think that's what you call it. I don't know. I just call it the flower shop. But it's not like a big box store. It's a family-owned business. And got all of her flowers and stuff done. We finally got Lowe's to call us back, and her vinyl flooring is supposed to be put in today, and then next week she is supposed to get the carpeting put in, and then hopefully we can get her new furniture delivered, and hopefully she can get old furniture out. And Cammy, you just farted. Oh, dog farts are the worst. They're bad. I don't like them. Let's see if I can bring this a little closer here. There we go. Not that I think you guys care about looking at other things. As soon as I figure out where I put my needle back here. Today is it's just that kind of day. It is not going to be the best day. Well, not that it's a bad day. It's just going to be a day that things are not all going to go my way. I can feel her already. I'm just hoping everybody that has their appointments have kept them. I got pretty frustrated. I had a guy message me yesterday morning and was just like throwing out like time, like, I can be there tonight. I'll be there tonight at 7 o'clock. And it's like, no, like, I have another appointment here at that time. I can't have that. And instead, like, I was just like, if you really need an appointment today, like, I will squeeze you in at 7:45, even though, like, I wanted to be done at 7:30. Like, I can accommodate. But he was just very pushy and pompous. And my husband was with me at that point in time. And then the guy, I mean, I showed my husband the emails back and forth from this guy, and he's like, I don't care who he is. Like, if he can't treat a woman with respect, like, I'm not running to this man he was essentially, like, talking down to me. Like, I guess he thought my husband should handle everything. And it's like, he works 10-hour days, and I'm more than capable of dealing with it. I've done this for the last, I don't know how many years. In fact, I'm more knowledgeable on the renting situation than my husband is, because I'm the one that deals with our lawyers, and I'm the one that got our county codes and ordinances and things like that. So it's like, I know what it's about. But he was just being a jerk. And for my husband, he was like really upset about it, and he was just like, I can't believe you went ahead and just set him up an appointment. I said, yeah, but sometimes, you know, like, not everything comes across on written word correctly. I said, we might be taking an offensive where he's just a very blunt person kind of thing. You know, I don't try and judge people just by what I've read and things, but my husband was pretty upset with it, which, I mean, I kind of agree with him. He wasn't very polite, and kind of seemed like, you know, I was, because I'm a girl, because I'm a woman, I'm too dumb to, I guess, to know things. But my husband was pretty upset about it, and then, like I said, he was very, like, pushy and, like, demanding that he had an appointment that day, so I just worked him into the schedule and was like, it's fine. It's not a big deal. And then the dude doesn't even show up. He doesn't even show up. And proceeds to message me and stuff, and it's like, sorry bud, you missed your appointment, I don't have anything else available. If you're gonna be that pompous and rude, then you can. And he was just kind of like messaging me very inappropriate things, and of course my husband was like, I ended up blocking the guy so that way he couldn't get a hold of me again, because my husband was like, he's the nerve of some people. He's just like, the nerve. He's like, I can't imagine thinking I'm going to treat a woman like that and then later on not show up to the appointment that was set up to view the apartment and then act like that over a message, like I'm the greatest thing on earth since bread was invented. I don't know. But he was just rude. And I can't imagine living my life like that. But it was just an amazing experience. And we get that sometimes with people that come in and view the apartment. Some of them can be quite rude to me, thinking that I don't know anything. And it just makes it very easy that it's like, I don't even need you to finish filling out your application, because it's just going to go straight in the trash. If you're not respectful, then I don't have time to waste either. And that is that of that color. We have 2 more colors to go through, and I'm finished with this little dude. Then I move on to the next one. These don't take long to stitch up though. They're not hard to do. So it's just been an interesting few days. But it's also kind of like our deal. Like, I showed the apartment, I deal with all that aspect. My husband's usually the one that goes through the application, calls the references, previous landlords. And, oh man. And usually deals with the application parts and things like that, and he'll file through them on people like that have passed the application progress. Like, he'll put on the application like, yes, this one passed, no, this one didn't. So it makes it, you know, just separate them in piles so that way we can go through things real fast, and then, you know, sit down and go through like how people after they pass the application process, go through and be like, you know, like this person like seemed really nice and seemed like they would be, you know, good neighbor and things like that. And after the application has been just accepted and then narrowed down, and I always feel so guilty because it is hard to find an apartment around here that is affordable and stuff. And I always feel horrible when we have to notify the, you know, people that like they didn't get the apartment, things like that. My husband's like, you know, but we can't think, you know, as many times as you know, people have sad stories and the reason why they're moving or things like that. Like we don't have enough to save everybody. You know, we have to make sure that this is, we use our business brains and not our hearts, because this is, at the end of the day, it's essentially a business. And you got to think logically and not with your heart. But it's still, I always hate not being able to help certain people that need it. So I usually let my husband handle that process because I'm literally not capable of doing it without letting my heart get in the way. But I can't wait until we're no longer landlords anymore, because it's an exhausting process. And sometimes you get people that move in and they destroy a lot of things, and those kind of expenses and things like that, it's not something you plan on, and you gotta go and fix it all. And it's just things that I'm just I don't really want to do it anymore. We've done it for quite a few years, and I'm just over it. Ready to be done. I know this is the villain in Milan, but do you think I can remember his name for the life of me? Nope. Have no idea. Can't remember right now. Could probably look it up, but like up here, this is Mrs. Potts, and there's Chip, and oh Lord, I'm blanking on his name. The little candle here. That's Cogsworth. This is Lumiere. Yeah, see? Took me a minute. Then you have the little rose. Let's see if we can get the rose in there. Then you have the rose. Oh. There we go. The rose. And the beast. And Beauty. There's Gaston. There's so many characters in here. And I'm crazy enough to add a whole bunch more. Get that down in there. Get in there. I still have some time left here that I'm thinking about. What am I going to have for breakfast? And eggs kind of sound good, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, wait a second here. No, this is, oh, darn it. I made a boo-boo. See? I was yapping and not paying attention. Oh, at least I caught it before I cut anything off. Come on. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I want for breakfast. Do I want a bagel and cream cheese? Do I want eggs? Do I want an English muffin? Do I want, you know, what sounds good today? And I don't know. And in all honesty, with recording this and everything else, I might just do like a bagel with cream cheese that's quick and it's fast. So it might be what I do. Come on. There actually is a mistake in one of these little guys, but I'm not going to tell you where it is. But there's a mistake there, and I had to fudge it and make it work. And I did. And it worked. And I really don't think you can tell where it was ever at. Because I had made it early on in the process, and I was just like, oh man. And I was like, I'm not taking all of that out, because I was almost done completely stitching him before I realized that at the beginning I had made a mistake, and I was just like, I'm not doing it. Everything, it doesn't throw off any of these next ones that get placed. It's not going to hurt anything. So I just finagled a few little things and switched it around. I was like, that'll work. At least these guys are resting for now. They came over to the apartment with me. Hanging out with Mom at the apartment, my dogs have. They've had fun too. Oh, that's another thing that Vincent did. So, with our flooring and stuff, we have the vinyl flooring. I was in here in my living room, and Vincent was out in our kitchen. And I can't remember exactly what I was doing in this living room, but I was doing something. And Vincent was literally out in the kitchen by himself. He wasn't eating or anything. He was just down playing and stuff. And I was getting him lunch, and I came in here. I came into our living room for some reason. I don't remember why. But I came in here for something. And he was literally out there for maybe a minute as I walked into the living room, grabbed what I needed, and walked back out to the kitchen. And didn't that stinker go and get wax, floor wax, out of, because we used to have hardwood floors in here that they were the original hardwood floors in the house, but people had sliced and cut through them and patched them, and they were in really bad shape and condition, and there really wasn't any saving them, or I probably would have saved them. But it was in such bad shape that I didn't want to look at them, so we just put vinyl flooring down over top of them. But we used to have to wax those floors every great once in a while to help keep them from being dull, and whenever you mop the floor or anything like that, because it's just you can't you know, soak a wood floor with water because that causes the stuff to be like cloudy and weird on it. But to like keep it waxed up and shiny helps protect the flooring from the mopping that you do on the floors. Well, Vincent ended up pulling out the wax and he sprayed this stuff all over my kitchen. And I came out, and thankfully this stuff, it won't hurt him or anything. He was just having a blast spraying it all over the place. So, I walk out to the kitchen. I mean, almost every inch of my kitchen floor is sprayed with this stuff. And I'm like, oh no. I was like, well, hopefully it won't be as bad on this flooring. Wrong. It's 10 times worse. 10 times worse on this flooring than it was on the wood flooring. But again, I didn't have my floor drenched in it either. And this little guy, I mean, so I get it all cleaned up, get that stuff done, and I go to move in that kitchen, and I'm like, oh my god, everybody's gonna fall on this. Like, it is so slippery. It's like, it's worse than ice. It's so slippery. And I call my friend. She has one of the steam mops because it's wax, and I mean, I can wash that floor as many times as I want to, but the wax is kind of dried and solidified on the floor, so I need the heat to pull the wax off. So she's supposed to bring that to me sometime today. We will see what time that happens. And in between showing all these apartments, that would be my task for tomorrow morning is, wow, after I get everything cleaned up and get breakfast and all the other sorts of things, then it'll be time to get those floors hopefully back to the way they were, because they're not normally slippery floors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that goes right here. Oh, darn. Did you see that? I ripped that right out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Gotta start in the right spot or I'll be sad. I don't want to do that. Don't want to start in the wrong spot. This is the little, I don't know what you call it. It's another building right here. But it's hard to see that color on there, isn't it? Oh, not too bad. We have 10, 13, 21 stitches across, I believe. I'll double count here in a minute. So, yep. It's been a busy week. We've had fun. It's been an exhausting week. I don't think I said earlier, but the custom window, it's going to take 3 to 4 weeks for it to be built. So it's going to take a while for that to be built. But as soon as it's built, we'll stick it right in. I don't like letting anything go even a little bit over there. It's got to be done ASAP. Alright. Where'd you go? Found it. It's stuck to one of these ties. And I do believe that was 21 stitches. Because there's 10. 10 and 8, that's 18. 18 and 3 is 21. So 21. I do math very weirdly. But you know what? I have 3 kids that are all good at math. And I was the one that taught them how to do it. And I taught them how to do it in my weird way. Now I need to see how many stitches I've done here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this is 15, so I need 6 more. This is 16, 17, 18, 19, that did not go in the hole. I think that was 19. I believe this is 20. I believe this is 21, but we're going to double count before I put it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21. See? Glad I counted. That's 21, not 20. Would have been off by 1 if I didn't check that. But we are at over an hour. I've got to pull this off here. I got to do a bunch of other things, get other stuff done, and head out the door because it is now 10 o'clock. And I'm going to have enough time to pack my laptop, pull all this stuff down, put me something together for lunch, and get ready to head out the door. Because I got to take these guys out to the bathroom before we leave. That didn't go down the hole. So, thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe to me. I will see you next Wednesday. I post videos every single Wednesday. And I will see y'all next time. Bye.